Hello YouTube, this is Charlie426 and today we have the review of the Studio Series Gamer Edition Optimus Prime from the Transformers War of Cybertron game. Now because I'm mentioning game because obviously because of the Netflix series, I think there could be people who could get confused at this point, so which is why I mentioned the game. So before the whole Netflix series came out, I really loved the Transformers War for Cybertron and Fall of Cybertron game, and the overall style and design were my biggest preferred as well overall. So once again, after a few years after that game, we finally got a decent figure of Optimus Prime, which is why I decided to pick it up and hence the reviewing it. And also, there are rumors in my country where Hasbro is leaving, so which is why I'm trying to get any Transformers figures that I kind of skipped on or skimped on, or always told myself maybe I'll get that later. But so yeah, I am hunting down a few figures so that I don't regret it in the future. Anyway, let's get on to the review. So here we have the Optimus Prime itself. So in terms of components, what you're supposed to get in the box is obviously the figure himself and his two weapons. Now obviously, as far as I know, Transformers Studio Series, they give you these backdrop paper things, but I do not consider those as like components, so which is why I'm skipping on that. Here we have his main weapon. I believe Megatron's is called the fusion cannon, and then this is the ion blaster or something like that for Optimus Prime. So yeah, you might have noticed the gun here seems a little bit different. You can tell like where's the handle. So if you haven't played the game, is that in War for Cybertron and Fall of Cybertron, the way how they hold the guns is they don't actually hold the gun like your typical traditional gun. Their right arm actually transforms into a gun. Hence we have a hole here, and you can technically detach the right arm and then slap this on, so which I'll be showing you guys later. And then we have his axe. So his axe mostly really noticeable in terms of when they were escaping the prisons from Kaon. So yeah, we have the axe here. It's made out of three parts. So you have the bottom part, you have the middle part, and the axe part itself. So that's three pieces. And then like in the game, you can actually, well, not exactly in the game, but basically you can open up to make it into a dual blade axe like this. So because in the game, when they're trying to escape from Kaon, Optimus does his a charge move on his axe, which becomes like this, and then he bashes out. Now problem is, I'm just gonna say this right off the bat, I have no idea what Hasbro was thinking when they were choosing the color for the blade. So in the game, the axe is mostly entirely red, and for some reason they decide to use this this, like, I don't know, a rotten peach color or whatever you call this weird color only on the end tip. So I'm not really sure what they were going for. Now I am aware that there is the upgrade kit where they also sell the separate axe by a third-party company, which is actually clear red, but once again, definitely thought it was an odd choice here. Now, I think they could have just, maybe it could just color the entire blade into red. I think that could have just still passed. So I'm not really sure what they were going for. I know they're trying to go for like a heated axe, like a, like in Gunpla, where the Zaku's, they have their heat hawks where the end blade can only glow up, but once again, this doesn't make any sense for me. Anyway, let's go on to the figure right now. So here we have the Optimus Prime here. So we'll start with the head. Now, despite how beefy it looks, articulation is actually pretty top notch. So let's start with the head. Now, obviously, some people were saying that this head design, maybe the side antennas are a little bit too long, but for me, I actually like this design as well. So let's see what we got. So down, it can go that much. Up, pretty good angle, and then because I believe this thing is on a ball joint, so going 360 is possible, although a little bit on the stiff side. And then let's look at the back. So the back, there's a lot of stuff going on here. I believe this is considered kibble, but once again, I think they did a good job on minimizing the kibble as well. Now granted, there are some parts that may feel loose, but that's just because of the overall structure and transformation style. So yeah, there's nothing too much to show on the back as well, because there's not much that actually moves. Now let's look at the arms. Now the arms, there are the basic articulation where 360 twist is possible. Going to the side, roughly less than 90 degrees because of the parts are colliding is possible. And then the arms can rotate 360. And then bend wise, you get about a 90-degree bend. Of course, on the other arm is exactly the same or slightly better, because what you can do on this arm, you can detach the arm itself, the right arm. Now this does not apply to the left arm because it's not like that. It's a different style structure. So you can take this off, and technically you're supposed to able to store it here. That I believe this is also mentioned in the manual. But once again, I do find this a little bit awkward, and this is not how it was in the game, so I usually just don't do that. And some people say that their connection is very loose. Mine, on the other hand, is not loose at all. And then what you're supposed to be able to do is that you can slap on the gun here like that, and there you go. You have a gun arm. So yeah, this is, I believe this is the so basically each character would be able to carry 2 guns, but Megatron and Optimus are one of the only 2 characters that has like a gun that you cannot swap out. So you're kind of, this is a mandatory weapon for Optimus. So yeah, now I believe size-wise it's okay, but I think the gun should have been bigger or something like that, because it does, depending on how you look at it, it does feel a little bit awkward. Alright, now you might have noticed for the shoulders, the shoulders does not move forward and backward, but you can actually pull this out. Of course, this is more for the transformation, but now from there you can unlock this joint here. But once again, more for the transformation, but just wanted to mention that as well. Alright, and then the body, you have a 360 twist on the entire body. There's no ab cruncher because of the structure here. And now for the legs, you can go forward about 90 degrees or slightly more if you want to do so. And then backwards, not so much. For some reason, it does not go backwards. I think something's basically, there's some sort of lock system that kind of prevents from doing that. And then going to the side is possible, but I wouldn't say it's like 90 degrees possible, but there is some space going on here as well. And obviously on the side of the leg, back of the leg, there's a lot of kibble here going on, but once again, just for the transformation. And then for the feet, now the feet has, you can move the feet a little bit backwards as well, forward not so much. There's no toe bend, and you get a very nice pivot joint, so very well done. And then there's all these designs here. No big deal. And then for the gun, I forgot to mention, now I don't really care for the effect parts for Transformers figures, but once again, the whole Transformers figures, sometimes they would give you out these effect parts, where the effect parts usually has the hole, and then the equipment has the pegs here like this. So if you have any of those, you can slap this on to make it, to give out that firing poses as well. Alright, and then finally for the axe, it's pretty simple. You just need, for example, you just need to plug it into the hand and you're good to go. So that's the way how you're supposed to hold it. Or if you don't want to be holding on the bottom handle, you can take this out and then put it onto the in the middle if you want to do so. Now I have seen also some people say that if you want to, you could do something like this, but once again, I don't think this is really necessary. Alright, so we did show you guys pretty much the demonstration of the figure itself, so I'll be right back with another demonstration with the axe, and then we'll go on to the transformation. So I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So here we have the axe demonstration. Now, obviously, holding the axe with one hand is possible. And once again, I was kind of curious if you can hold it in both hands. And most of the reviews I saw didn't really mention this. But once again, it is technically possible. Of course, depending on the pose that you're trying to go for, you might need to pull out the shoulder outwards and then utilize this joint here, which makes your life much, much easier. So just wanted to point that out as well. And before we go to the transformation or the vehicle mode, I would like to mention one thing, because if it's an Optimus Prime, there's one thing that you have to mention, or you cannot forget to mention, is the matrix of leadership. So obviously in the first game, Optimus becomes actually Optimus Prime by getting the matrix of leadership. This, you can actually open the chest up and then reveal the matrix of leadership. Now, compared to like a masterpiece or third-party stuff, it's not made out of chrome or silver or gold, but once again, I think it's really faithful to the design that we actually saw in the game. Absolutely love it. Of course, on the back side it's a little bit empty, but it's basically pegged by a peg here, and then these two, I'm not sure that the other two are like tight enough, but once again, basically 3 pegs here. And you can see the inside details are pretty well done. So yeah, the small details, but these are like the small kind of stuff that makes it even more fun to deal with this figure. Alright, so we've seen the basics of the Optimus Prime himself. And now I'll be right back with the vehicle mode. Okay, I'm back. So here we have the vehicle mode. So once again, I'm not really sure if they were trying to go for a truck or a tank. But once again, in the game, to be fair, you don't really see the axe, or you don't really see the blaster here. So I believe you usually just see this, the vehicle itself. So a very Cybertron-ish design here. I absolutely like this design as well. It has a 2 giant wheels in the front. Now these wheels do roll, and then they're all made out of plastic, so no roller tires, and then 4 smaller wheels on the back side. So they do roll pretty well. Of course, depending on the surface, they may not, you know, move well, but yeah, they do all roll, sort of supposed to roll as well. And yeah, the transformation is fairly simple. Of course, it's just a matter of, you know, making sure that each peg is connected and making sure that it's in, like, every part is in the right position and such. And if so, you should not really struggle. Of course, there's a lot of like empty space here, but when looking at the bottom, that's kind of normal. Yeah, but you can still see these type of empty spaces, but oh well. And then I believe in the game there was actually a cover here or something like that, but once again you can see Optimus Prime's hands here, so it may feel a bit awkward. And yes, I am aware of the upgrade part kit, but once again it's kind of difficult to get these days. And number 2, it's one of the few cases where the upgrade parts cost pretty much the same amount as getting this figure, or at least back then that's how it was. Now this is also getting a little bit tricky to get in my country, which is and people are like increasing the prices, but oh well. And that is pretty much it. Just to give you guys a general size idea, here is a typical Hot Wheels car, so you can see the size is pretty big as well. Anyway, that is pretty much it for the review. So once again, yeah, if you really enjoyed the game and if you want some sort of product from the game, I would say getting the recent version is okay. But once again, of course, there's not many characters available at the moment, so if you can get the old action figures, maybe that's also a good idea. But in general, I think they really aced it with Optimus Prime. I'm kind of hoping they would make some more characters from this lineup, like once again Shockwave or Soundwave, or heck, I would love to see how they would do with Zeta Prime, because I really like his design as well in the game. Anyway, thank you for watching the review. This was a review of the Transformers Studio Series Gamer Edition Optimus Prime from the Transformers War for Cybertron game. So once again, if you guys got any questions or requests, leave a comment below. I still have more stuff to buy and build and make reviews out, so please stay tuned. Until then, see you guys next time.